Hello, it's your friendly neighborhood host, JT Wheatley, back for another episode of the History Comics Podcast. This time, of course, with another edition of the classics with Infinity Gauntlet, the classic miniseries by Jim Starlin, George Perez, and Ron Lim. Of course, many of you, remember it, and of course, this is the comic that was the main adaptation that led to the brilliant Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame movie adaptations of 2018 and 2019, two of the biggest events and biggest movies, quite frankly, of all time, just fantastic films. But going back to the original miniseries, you really are impressed by, of course, Jim Starlin's writing and how he turns Thanos into a true sociopath who, in this version, just worships death in particular, and the reason why he kills off half the universe is just to make death happy. He doesn't have this crazy Malthusian plan, which does work very well in the movies, but in the comic books, this is a pretty good angle as well. And they also do a great job of showing how the heroes unite against it. Basically, they're trying to fight a god at this point. Because the thing too is that the Infinity Gauntlet begins with Thanos already having the gauntlet, and he's ready to go, and he's already causing mayhem, and the heroes of the Marvel Universe have to team up against seemingly insurmountable odds. Like I said, he's a god, but there's some great moments. I mean, there's a great standoff when Captain America literally just stares him down. And even though Captain America is essentially a human, he's facing a god. You really feel they're equals in many ways, if not superior, because Captain America, he's Captain America. Of course, he can stand up to a god if he wanted to. But yeah, just a great read. And of course, the pencils are perfectly mastered well. George Perez, the master of event comic books and doing giant splash pages and so forth. But of course, he was helped further on the line when Ron Lim took over in the middle of the miniseries, and almost seamlessly, you can tell the stylistic difference a little bit between Ron and Lim, but they're both very detailed and great at the big, expansive, multiple characters and action set pieces. But all in all, the Infinity Gauntlet is a classic comic miniseries released from July to December of 1991. Remains one of the great events ever published by any comic book company to this day, and a must-read, especially if you really liked Infinity War and Endgame, because go back to the original source material. It is that good, and easily the definition of what is a true classic.
Look, we gotta talk.
Yeah, Thunder Talk.
We're going all kinds of sideways with that sweet nerd junk.
Woke nerd junk.
It's topical.
Political.
Dare I say radical.
We've got all your latest news and reviews.
Hot music.
And a whole lot of comedy. But it ain't for kids.
Definitely mature content.
So let's talk.
Let's talk Thunder Talk.
Thunder Talk is a proud member of the ESO network.
Now is December 30th, 2021. Time for the favorite comic of the week. Swamp Thing, Green Hell, #1 by Jeff Lemire and Doug Mahnke, which takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the last humanity is surviving even though the oceans keep rising every day, and they're just basically fending for themselves. But then the green, the red, and the black, the elemental forces of the world, start debating about they need to restore humanity to bring balance back to the world, ultimately save themselves. And the green steps up, which of course leads to a brand new Swamp Thing, but different and kind of scary one, who steps in, who may or may not try to save humanity. Jeff Lemire, who has had a fantastic run in comic books in general for these last few years, does a great job setting up this post-apocalyptic world. It feels very unique, and it shows the balances between the different societies fighting one another. Humanity is what's left, and showing that one side is not as bad or as good as they think they are, and also factoring the elemental forces with the Swamp Thing. And the only reason they're stepping in to save humanity is to ultimately save themselves. Harkening back to where, as Alan Moore brilliantly pointed out in his Saga of the Swamp Thing series, that the reason why the green needs the red, with the red representing animals and humanity, to survive, because they live off each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. And of course, it's matched by Doug Mahnke's beautiful art, which does a great job both depicting the post-apocalyptic world, but also when the Swamp Thing finally shows up, he's a classic horror comic character. You remember also how the Swamp Thing's roots are in horror comics, and it's great to see that brought back every now and then, and this is no exception here. And of course, this is a Black Label magazine format from DC Comics, and they've been really killing it with these line of books. They're just great great large format to show off the artwork and storytelling, more mature content and so forth. So yeah, I've been loving, they've been pretty much batting 1,000 more or less with these format comics, and I hope to see more of them. And I'd like to see other comic companies like Marvel maybe follow suit and see more comic books like this. But all in all, that's my favorite comic book of the week. And of course, this will be the last episode of 2021. Another year down the books. Hope everyone has a happy and safe new year. Can't wait to see listen to you next year. Rest assured, it won't take me that long to get back to the regular History Comics formats. I've almost done getting my next 10 loaded up and fired up and ready to go, and hopefully we'll be there pretty soon. That's not a New Year's resolution because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe if it's important, you start doing it right now, and I have been. But, it's podcasting, and this is a labor of love, and I love doing it, and I'll keep doing it until I decide not to because, well, it's a fun hobby. But yeah, once again, a Happy New Year. Have a safe one. And of course, may the next year bring you many wonderful good comic books in your future.